30, 60 day that are now 2 to 4 weeks out. And you can't get this stuff anywhere else. In fact, in the news today, not only is there massive price gouging on Amazon, and so far Jeff Bezos has done nothing to address that. And honestly, I think he should, because it's just wrong. And, people should not be treated that way. But we're seeing supplies just run out in places like we're in Hawaii right now. Can't get toilet paper. It's off the shelves. People are out the door, out at Costco's, and these kinds of things. So again, you need to be thinking about self-quarantine, bugging in versus bugging out. And then hopefully you have your survival supplies, food preps and storage, and all these kinds of things. Also wanted to address Joe Biden, who allegedly surprised, the old guy who was kind of like riding the coattails of Barack Obama, who has no charisma, but he's always like, inappropriately touching small children and making out with little girls. It's just absolutely disgusting. In fact, he's on camera today, I think it was, sniffing a baby. I mean, it's just the most disgusting thing that I've ever seen in my life, the way and especially since he's a Democrat, and he's a part of that liberal agenda, and he's just constantly like touching people inappropriately and kissing them and breathing all over them and making people feel uncomfortable. Just ridiculous. And supposedly this uncharismatic, teeth falling out of his mouth, non-debater is the primary candidate for the Democratic Party. Well, personally, I congratulate that. He's going to get smoked by real Donald Trump, Donald John Trump, if that's the case. Bloomberg completely going down and burning up in a ball of glory after spending hundreds of millions of dollars on his worthless campaign. What a bunch of just absolute and total losers. And again, this will only guarantee Donald Trump's reelection. Now, look, I've never said Donald Trump's perfect. There's things I disagree with, things that I think Donald Trump could do better. But ultimately, I think he's done tremendously for the country. And I really think his heart is in the right place. And my personal opinion, I think he's been anointed by God as an imperfect individual, but an actual follower of Christ who prays in the White House, has a lot of advisory when it comes to following his heart and ultimately serving God and the will for this country, our great nation, and our people. And so we see now with Biden winning Super Tuesday and Elizabeth Warren losing miserably as well, and now that socialism is somewhat being taken off the table. And I told you guys about this years ago. They want to introduce the concept of socialism so Americans get used to it, so eventually they can move that direction. But they're really just test marketing it before the eventual rollout. So Bernie Sanders falling off a cliff, Elizabeth Warren falling off a cliff, Bloomberg learning that he can't buy the election, nobody likes him or cares about him, and he's basically just a hopeless candidate. The entire playing field of the Democratic Party is utterly worthless, in my humble opinion. But let's get back to your health risk.